Welcome back to Behind the Box. Today we're going to talk to you about 3 of our favourite 2-player games. So we've chosen games that are exclusively 2-player, not just play really well at 2.
Yeah. So we'll jump right in with Codenames Duets. Now, this is a spy-themed game. It's cooperative, and you'll be sitting across the table from each other, both using this same 5x5 grid of cards that have different words on them. Essentially, what you're trying to do as fellow spies is identify the 15 agents, but the 15 words that are safe, essentially, out there. Now, you'll each have 9 words, so there's going to be some overlap there. And they do throw in some assassins that you're not supposed to guess, and it kind of ends the game if you do guess them, so avoid those. But you've got limited clues that you can give out. So it's important that you use these clues wisely and give a clue that can identify perhaps several of the words at once, hopefully. But it's just a great game. It's fantastic. Codenames is my favorite game. So the fact that they've made a 2-player variant, that wins me over instantly. Like, list done for me.
It's honestly fantastic. I mean, Codenames, there's a ton of different variations on it now. And when they first announced this, I was a little worried it was just going to seem like it's just a Codenames for 2 people. They've not really changed much. You can kind of play the base Codenames anyway to play if you mix up the rules a little bit. But no, they've actually made a game. Like, it's its own thing. And you can combine it with the other versions of Codenames, which is really cool, just sort of to be able to mix and match everything up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a really, really good game. It's a good puzzle as well.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we've played it a handful of times now. I think we've won each time, but always on the last possible.
Yeah, it's always a challenge. You always know that you deserved that win. You try really hard.
Yeah, you do. And what I love about this versus, like, the normal Codenames, where it's, like, 2 people and 2 people, the downtime doesn't exist the same way, because instead of having 2 code givers and you sit and wait, and if you're on the other team, you wait for ages, while they're trying to figure stuff out, like, so while you're thinking, right, what can I do as my clue? I'll be doing the same thing. I'll be like, right, what can I do next turn? What is my clue going to be? So the downtime doesn't exist the same way because you're always busy.
It feels like a faster game.
Yeah.
It's really good.
There's also a campaign in there, which is not necessary, which is kind of neat. It just basically changes the setup a little bit, how many clues you're allowed to get, how many things you can get wrong before you lose.
It just keeps it a little different, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So Codenames.
So our second game is Jaipur. In Jaipur, you both play as merchants trying to be the best merchant for your town, to be the Maharaja's personal trader. So you'll be doing this through hand management and set collection. So there'll be like a bunch of cards out in front of you, and you can take those to eventually sell. The more you sell at a time, the more points you'll get, and you also get bonus points for selling larger collections. There's also camel cards. Now, these you can't sell, but you can use those to trade with the central tableau of cards. So if you want like a bunch of stuff, but you don't have the need for other things, and you can just use your camels instead and just take a bunch of stuff and get rid of camels. At the end of the round, whoever has the most camels as well will also get bonus points, so it's kind of a nice thing to keep hold of those. First player to win 2 rounds is the winner. We love this game.
It's a great game.
This is, I think, the first 2-player only game that we actually purchased years and years ago.
And we still play it just as much today.
Yeah, this to me is like the perfect, when it's like getting later on in the evening and we don't really want to sit in front of the TV, but we're not ready to go fall asleep. It's like, okay, we want to play a game, but I don't want to set up a whole table of game. This has kind of been a go-to one because it plays in about 20 to 30 minutes. Really quick to set up and tear down. It's just a good game.
It is really good.
Really fun. Yeah. I love this game. So definitely would recommend
Definitely recommend it. Next is Patchwork, which is a very quaint quilt building game. It's competitive. You and your opponent each have the same size quilts, and then you've got these adorable little puzzle pieces. They're like little Tetris pieces that you're drafting them to fit into your quilt. And these pieces will have different advantages and disadvantages. So you might have a really big piece that will cover a lot of your quilt, which is what you're trying to do. But it's super awkward and it's really weirdly positioned. And then you'll have these other great pieces, but they might be expensive to get. And the currency is buttons, which is adorable. And you're just trying to... you've got like this path that you take on this board, trying to get to the center of the board, and once both players get there, the game's over, and it's essentially most points wins.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great game. Really simple, easy to teach, easy to pick up. But
yeah, again, this is similar to Jaipur. It's that game where if it's an evening, we go, do you want to just play a game of Patchwork? Because again, it plays really quick.
But you can really get lost in it. Like,
yeah,
you're thinking ahead, thinking, oh, do I want to draft that piece onto my quilt, or is it going to make it harder for me to get that other piece?
Yeah, you have to think ahead, because the pieces you take, it sort of moves you closer to future pieces. So you might think, right, if I take this piece, they're probably going to take this piece, so what piece can I take next? How does that fit into my quilt? And so it really is quite strategic and quite deep for how simple it actually is. And yeah, I love that. I love that it gives you that.
Very well-designed game.
Yeah, and each time you play it'll be different. You basically take the box of pieces, just tip them out onto a table, and then make them into a ring, and then that's the setup. That's the order you have to follow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fantastic one. Really. I mean, all three
are
just amazing. And I mean, this is the three of our actual top. This is like 1, 2, 3. I don't know the specific order, but yeah, this isn't just three of our favourites, it is our 3 favourites. And if you are looking to get into 2-player games, 100% these are the 3 I would recommend that you start with. Because they're all cheap, they're all quick to learn, and they're just amazing games.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Especially this one.
Yeah. And if you agree with that, let us know. If you don't agree, if you've got other things you'd throw in there instead, then throw those down in the comments below and we'll check them out. And then again, check the description for further information on these games and our social media links. Yeah, until the next one, we'll see you soon.
Bye. I swallowed really loud just then.
Through me.
That was like the most physical representation of a swallow ever. Like, you know how in comics they're like, and like you can see like this swallow happening.
Ready?
Yeah.